Soldiers from the 58th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade, named after Hetman Ivan Vyhovsky, successfully repelled an assault by Russian armored vehicles targeting Ukrainian positions in the Kharkiv region. This was reported by the Khortytsia Operational and Strategic Group of Forces on Telegram, which also shared a corresponding video, according to Ukrinform. The invaders once again attempted to storm our defensive positions using armored vehicles, the statement said. According to the military, Ukrainian soldiers destroyed the enemy's armored vehicles as they had done many times before. As reported over the past day, 120 combat engagements have been recorded at the front line, with intense fighting observed in the Pokrovsk and Kursk sectors. Russian forces have resumed a more typical strike pattern in late March and early April 2025 after a temporary spike in the size of Russian long-range strike packages in mid-February and early March 2025. The Institute for the Study of War said this in its Russian offensive campaign assessment. Analysts note that Russian forces conducted notably larger strike packages in mid-February and early March 2025, but have launched strike packages more comparable to trends last observed in January and early February 2025, albeit using fewer missiles in recent weeks. Russian forces notably conducted no strikes against Ukraine on April 7th, the day after conducting their largest strike in over a month on April 6th, but have since resumed daily strikes. In addition, Russian forces have reportedly adjusted their long-range strike tactics in recent weeks, likely as part of an effort to inflict significant damage with strike packages of sizes similar to those they had been using earlier in the year and to intimidate Ukrainian civilians. Ukrainian sources and German outlet Bild reported in late March and early April 2025 that Russian forces are loitering long-range drones at high altitudes several kilometers from large Ukrainian cities and other targets before conducting synchronized strikes with multiple drones. Ukrainian sources reported that Russian forces are flying Shahed drones in the densest possible formations in order to overwhelm Ukrainian air defense systems, and that Russian forces concentrate a group of 10 to 15 Shahed drones outside of a city before striking the city. Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson Colonel Yuri Ihnat reported on April 6th that Russian forces are constantly modernizing their Shahed drones, ballistic missiles, and strike tactics, complicating Ukrainian forces' ability to shoot them down. Russian forces previously launched Shahed long-range drones in a series of waves against various targets each night, and this reported effort to operate drones in denser formations suggests that Russian forces believe this new tactic will overwhelm Ukrainian air defenses more effectively, the report said. Analysts also note that Russian officials have thus far refused to engage with or have outright rejected the U.S.-Ukrainian temporary ceasefire that U.S. Special Envoy for the Middle East Steve Witkoff presumably proposed to Vladimir Putin during a meeting on March 13th. Russian forces are likely delaying negotiations on a general ceasefire in order to continue making gains along the front line in Ukraine and continue devastating long-range strikes against Ukrainian defense industrial and civilian areas in order to intimidate civilians and undermine Ukraine's ability to defend itself against future Russian aggression, ISW analysts said. The number of people killed in the latest Russian missile strike on Sumy on April 13th has risen to 34, with 117 others injured in the attack, including 15 children. Putin's aide Patrushev commented on Estonia's intention to sink ships in the Baltic Sea, suspected of intending to damage undersea cables.
Well, it's disgusting. Disgusting. We need to think about how to counteract, what to do. Estonia itself cannot implement it. Just standing by themselves. We need to understand, get more detailed information on how to counteract.
What options are there?
I already told you, we need to discuss this.
President of Poland, Andrzej Duda. The war has been going on since 2014, and Europe wasn't able to solve this problem. If someone is able to force the end of Russia's war, it's most likely only the President of the United States. The question is whether he is determined enough.
On Friday, President Trump's go-to man for the world's most intractable conflicts, Steve Witkoff, landed in Russia for yet another meeting with Vladimir Putin, a man he has described as trustworthy and not a bad guy.
Does he understand, do you think, who he's dealing with? I believe that President Trump perfectly knows whom he's dealing with and he knows what to do.
He's not getting very far in terms of peace, though. Do you think that Europe should be talking to Vladimir Putin? Would you talk to him?
The war has been going on since 2014 and Europe was not able to solve this problem. If someone is able to force the end of Russia's war, it's most likely only the President of the United States. The question is whether he'll be determined enough to do that in a way, because it's also very important here in Europe, being a neighbor of Russian aggression against Ukraine, that the peace is fair and lasting.
We are seeing reports that Russia is considering the possibility of deploying nuclear weapons in space. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, in an interview with Welt am Sonntag. According to Rutte, Russia's current capabilities in space are outdated and do not match the level of the West. Therefore, developing nuclear weapons in outer space is a way for Moscow to enhance its potential. Rutte emphasized that the deployment of nuclear weapons in space would be a serious violation of the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, which prohibits the use of outer space for placing weapons of mass destruction. This treaty, initiated by the United States and the Soviet Union, is intended to ensure the peaceful use of outer space and to curb the arms race between superpowers. French defense firm CILAS has presented a prototype of a portable laser system in the form factor of an assault rifle. The new system, named Helma LP, was presented at the SOFAN's 2025 exhibition. It is a lightweight version of the Helma P laser system, which was successfully tested in June 2023 aboard a Horizon-class air defense frigate. The portable system is integrated into the receiver of an AR-15 rifle. The central box-shaped section contains the laser emitter, while the cylindrical front component serves as the focusing optic. A Picatinny rail is mounted on the top, allowing targeting equipment to be installed. Helma LP is intended for engaging stationary targets at distances of 300 to 500 meters. Due to its lower power compared to Helma P, the operator must keep the laser on the target for longer. Typical engagement time ranges from 5 to 15 seconds, with a maximum continuous firing time of 60 seconds. The system is powered by a battery carried in a backpack connected to the rifle. It provides several shots, with the total weight of the system around 15 kilograms. According to the manufacturer, the laser is capable of burning through tarpaulin, disabling electronics, and damaging enemy optical equipment. Militarnia recently reported that Ukraine's unmanned systems forces demonstrated the operation and capabilities of the Tri-Zub domestic laser system. It is claimed the Ukrainian laser can destroy attack drones, aerial bombs, and cruise or ballistic missiles at ranges up to 3,000 meters and helicopters, aircraft, and reconnaissance drones at up to 5,000 meters. Additionally, it can be used to blind drones, missiles, helicopters, and aircraft at distances of up to 10,000 meters.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.